Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to this next guitar lesson. For today I have a really cool kind of jazz-based chordal move to show you guys. And this is starting off with a couple of shapes that you guys might not know, a major 7 shape and then a 6-9 inversion shape. And these two shapes go really well together, so you can kind of get that jazz chord movement that you hear a lot of guys doing. For instance, if you hear, a player just comping like maybe a B flat major chord or something like that, a lot of times you don't hear them just grab just one chord grip and just kind of stay on that grip for a long period of time. A lot of times you see them kind of shuffling around through some different shapes, through some inversions, through, if it's like a major chord, through some major 7, major 9, maybe a 6-9, maybe a suspended, stuff like that, just to get some more harmony movement within the actual chord instead of just, hanging out on one kind of static grip for a long period of time. And that's what really leads to, some of my favorite compers when they really kind of have that technique mastered and they can move around through a whole bunch of different shapes and positions, and it really sounds just thick and full and you hear a lot of harmony in there. So we're going to go over 2 of those shapes just to kind of get you guys started doing this kind of technique. So let's get into the lesson and I'll show you guys these shapes. Okay guys, so to get started off, we have our first major 7 shape here, and this is going to be a B flat major. We're going to be in the key of B flat major for the day. So B flat and E flat are our 2 flats for this key. So here's our first shape, and this is just a killer voicing. I use this one all the time. So we have pointer at 6 of the low E, ring at 8 of the A, middle at 7 of the G, and then pinky's going to be all the way up at 10 of the B. So a little bit of a stretch. Now the ring or the pointer can kind of slightly mute the D string because we don't want that to ring out, and the pinky or more the pointer, like this part of the pointer right here, can mute the high E string. Okay, so I'm going to be hybrid picking all these. So what I'm doing is I'm picking with the actual pick the low E, the middle is going to the A, the ring to the G, and the pinky to the B. Okay, so here's our chord. Okay, so very lovely sound. So we get root, 5th, 3rd, and then the 7th as the highest voicing. So that's a major 7. Let's take that up to E flat, down to A flat. Okay, very lovely voicing. I love the sound of that one, especially with the 7th being the highest voice we hear. Okay, so there's our first major 7 chord, and that one works like as the 1 chord or the 4 chord in whatever key you're in. It'll pretty much always work when you see a major 7 chord. You can use that as your major 7. Okay, so that's our first chord. Now the next chord is where we get the nice little move. So this is going to be like, if we're still thinking the key of, or if we're still thinking like over the B flat chord, this is going to be like a first inversion. Okay, so this is also going to be a 6-9 chord, so we're adding the 6 and the 9. And there's actually not going to be a root in this one either, so it's going to be a rootless chord voicing. So a lot of stuff, it sounds like a lot of stuff going on, but it's actually a super easy shape to play. So you have pointer doing a 3-string bar on the A, D, and G strings, and that's at the 5th fret. And the middle is going to the 6th fret of the B string. Okay, now where's the root for this one? Well, you can think of the root note as being on the high E string, basically on the same fret that the middle's on. So for instance, right here, since the middle is right by the high E, it's by a B flat. Now if we were right here, this would be a C, because we got the C right there. So just kind of remember, we're not actually playing the root, but you can think of the root as just being on the same exact fret, but just on the high E string. So you're just going to need to know what note is on that high E string to keep track of where your root is. But this is the chord we get from this. Okay? Very pretty sound. Okay, so that's a B flat 6-9. Our order of tones is the 3rd, the 6th, the 9, and then we get the 5th. Okay? One more cool little move that we can do right here is add the pinky to our 8th fret of the B. That's just adding in the 6 again, but it makes for a little movement. Okay. So you can hear going back between, going back and forth between those two voicings is really, really cool. Up to E flat. Okay, so really I'm just going from our first B flat major chord to the 6-9 chord, adding in the pinky, and then going back to our major 7. And it's cool because our melody does this. Just walks right up. So, and you don't have to do that with the melody either. I mean, you can just go back and forth between each chord. Up to E flat. You can hear how nicely those chords move from one to the next. So maybe go to A flat, G flat. Okay, so that is the chord movement. So you can even go the opposite, go to the major 7, start with the 6-9 but with your pinky on, and then take your pinky off. So up to E flat. So just a really cool little idea. Okay, and if you can also reach it on some of these chords, you can take this little 6-9 up and up a whole octave. So now we're going to be all the way up. The pointer's doing the bar, the 17th fret. So just like almost like an exclamation point, a little bit. Instead of using just one note or using a chord, but a little bit like what B.B. King used to do, where he'd be playing and then he'd go up and hit that like almost like an exclamation point, like a root note high up, and then just hit it and slide down. Kind of the same idea. So if we're doing this shape, just hitting that little exclamation point up there. And it's a really cool sound if we were doing A flat. It's just a nice little move to do, something else you can do if you can go to that octave. So that's basically the full idea. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this little idea can really add some cool new interest to like if you're just playing a standard major 7. And also you guys might not have known that first major 7 shape, so make sure to kind of throw that into your repertoire, because again, it's a lovely voicing, and especially the 6-9 shape too, just because it's so easy to play. So yeah, thanks so much for coming back to check out this lesson, and I will see you back here next week for the next part of the series. Thanks so much, everyone.